Today, we are wrapping up our awesome e-commerce series with digital marketing and how it applies to e-commerce.
One of my favorite topics, Gareth. When is the last time you used a phone book?
Sure. I can't remember, maybe more than 20 years ago.
Sure, that makes sense because it was about that time that Google stepped onto the scene.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought it was about, yeah, probably around there. I thought maybe a little bit longer that they've been around.
So I think we've all had that realization at some time or other. But Google has existed since 1998 and has gone from a company to a verb in that time. And I Googled that to make sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know Facebook and Instagram popped up around 2007, but okay, so Google was there way longer.
Yeah, they did. And if you loop in YouTube, a Google company, we have the online giants all in one room. But let's loop back to Google. So, Gareth, how is it that you normally find directions to a new restaurant or a place you haven't been to before?
Yeah, Google the name, and then I tap the directions button on my phone, and it takes me there.
Okay, and how do you check if a place is open?
Okay, so instead of directions, I check the hours section on Google, or I just tap the call button and see if anyone's there.
So, I do the same thing. But did you know that information isn't collected by Google AI of sorts?
Yeah, I've actually never thought of how the data is collected, and yeah, I've never thought of that.
So, these things are provided by a service called Google My Business. And each business has to select their spot on the map and then fill out the details so that people like you and I who interact with each businesses can do so.
Okay, so okay, cool. So it's not actually them looking for businesses. It's I have to go register my business on it. Okay, cool. That's cool. But how does that apply to e-commerce?
So yeah, great question. But having Google My Business set up does wonders for your customers, and it is a great search engine optimization solution or SEO.
SEO. Okay, what is that?
So it effectively means it improves your business's findability. And look,
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's a word, but yeah.
Me neither, but it's a good one. So findability. So if you're saying that if my customer sets this up, they will appear first on Google.
Look, well, yes and no. Google mainly places ads at the top of the search results. However, your customer's business will be able to appear independently along the right and will enable people like us to find them in our car, on our phone, or go visit them during their opening hours, as well as view something like customer reviews.
Okay. So I see one way or another we can get in touch.
That is correct. But if we jump back into Google Ads, ranking at the top of search results is a big deal because when is the last time you viewed page 2 of Google?
Sure. I never really look at the dark side of the moon, Dimitri.
Look, me neither. I just adjust my search terms to try and get the results I want.
I suppose as a business priority I suppose a business priority is to be visible to your customers when they're looking for you.
That is exactly the message we want to send.
Okay. So, but now what about, so you mentioned Google. So what about Facebook and Instagram?
Sure, I'm glad you asked. These two giants are definitely a formidable force, and I believe they offer powerful brand awareness capabilities, where Google offers more of a direct sales conversion solution because you can't really find, sorry, because you can find what you're looking for and then buy it. However, Facebook and Instagram have recently, or not so recently, actually created a shop offering, which allows you to make purchases from both of these platforms.
Okay. So I can shop on Instagram now.
Yes, you can. And they make it pretty simple. If you have your products listed online, or if you have a website already, you can just link the two together and pull through all your products with little to no effort.
Okay. So instead of the four walls of a building in various different places, you can have your e-commerce store in a few different places.
Yes, it's almost like having different branches. So having like a Facebook branch and then an Instagram branch and then a Google one.
Okay. So can you do this on Google as well, or just Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, you can. That Google create provides something called Merchant Center, which allows you to effectively list all your products online. But the superpower of all of these different platforms is something called remarketing.
Remarketing. So is that like a follow-up, or what is it?
Well, that is almost exactly what it is, but it is the digital equivalent and doesn't require a human. It is the practice of serving ads or to users or potential customers that may have either been on your website or interacted with your ad. This could be on Facebook, Google, and even Instagram, or even another website where you may have happened to click on one of these ads.
Okay, so this is this thing that where I think it's like the ads are following you, and I think like my phone's listening to the things that I say, and it gets pretty creepy at times. Like, is that what we're talking about?
Look, that's exactly it. I'm not really certain to whether it is possible for us to understand what our phones are hearing and what they're not hearing, but it definitely feels like it. And with remarketing is a little bit more independent than this idea of listening and serving up solutions. Hence the re. So I mean, the marketing element starts somewhere, but we can't be sure whether it starts with our voice or not.
Okay. Okay. So having a website or an e-commerce store doesn't just mean that I can list my products for sale. It means I open my business, or rather my customer's business, up to like a world of digital opportunities.
That is exactly it, and on the money as usual, Gareth. And really, you just unlock the potential of revenue that all starts with a simple storefront or a QuickStore sale.
Okay. Well, you heard it here, guys. Once again, Braintree has the solution for you and your customers. So don't be shy to sell them QuickStore or Storefront and educate them on how to leverage the power of digital for their business.
We look forward to hearing from you, your friends, and your customers. And once again, thank you for your time, and we hope you learned something today that can help you make a sale tomorrow.
Thank you so much for tuning into another SkyRocket session, guys. Join us next week as we start our series on LS Retail, moving from the online store into the brick and mortar store. Stay safe, stay lekker. Sal